Hi friends, it's Anne here, and today's video is a mascara testing video. This is probably, I think, the second or third, no, it must be at least the third video I've done on mascara testing, and this time around, it's all Essence mascara. So I have 4 Essence mascaras, and I have 1 primer that I've been testing out for approximately the past 2 months, I would say. It's taken me about 2 months to kind of really work through each of these and try and get a feel for how I like them as well as how I like them with the primer. I have been testing the primer with other mascaras as well. My little sidekick is behind me. He's supposed to be over there on his blanket, but he's over here. Because, you know, can't get close enough. As soon as I start talking, he's like, ooh, what's going on? Are you talking about me? Yes. So I'm not purposely trying to block him. He moved, I did not. So I think I'm gonna do this mascara video a little different than some of my previous ones, where I think in previous ones I've just sort of like applied the mascara, let you make your own opinion on what you see on camera, and then I followed up with my personal reviews. I think what I'm gonna try and do this time is sort of overlay my review with the footage, partially to make this video not so long. And yeah, I just want to try and do this differently. At least that's what I'm intending to do right now. We'll see once I actually post this what will come out. But I will put timestamps down below of each individual mascara, so if there's something you're more specifically interested in, then you can just jump to that. I'm not going to talk about the primer. I might talk about the primer specifically at the end, but I will talk about the primer sort of throughout all of the mascara testing. I also tested, like in the video footage, I tested, or I'm demonstrating them the exact same way. I always curl my lashes. I put primer, 1 coat of primer on my right eye, and then I did the mascara on both eyes with 1 coat, and then I do it again with 2 coats on the top and 1 coat at the bottom, so you can kind of see sort of the variations of the mascara with all those options. Is the best I can do with just 2 eyeballs and 4 mascaras with the primer. But that's how I did it, and I did that with each of these mascaras. I'm going to present these in order of my least favorite to my most favorite. I'm just going to give a spoiler alert. I don't love any of these. Just putting that out there right now. So let's start off with my least favorite one. This is the Essence Get Big Lashes Volume Boost. All of these mascaras range in price between like $3 to $5, I think. So the one thing I want to point out with this one is I really dislike this wand. This is like a giant wand, which makes it very, very difficult to apply the mascara. Hope you can see how large that wand is. I'll show it in comparison to another one. 2 of them have that kind of large wand. So on first impression, I thought that it looked okay. 1 coat was okay, 2 coat, I just said don't love, don't hate. I did say that I didn't like it. I tried it with the primer earlier on, and then I said I didn't like it. It kind of made it a bit goopier. I always think it looks funny when I just put the primer on my eye before I put mascara on. I also feel like as I've had it open, it definitely needs 2 coats to really get any sort of volume out of it. But I did feel, so I made a note saying that I felt like this mascara actually disappeared as the day goes on. If you go with a very simple light coat, like you can do a quick 1 coat with this and it can look pretty natural. I did say that this does not survive crying at all. Had a sad moment, had a rough day the other day, and I was a hot mess. This was everywhere. And part of that, I feel like this is the wettest out of all of them, and it's like too wet, and it's too wet for too long. I will admit I don't like a wet mascara. I'm not a huge wet mascara fan. I prefer something that's a bit drier. So I do really like the L'Oreal Lash Paradise, which I know a lot of people don't like because it is a bit thicker, a bit clumpier, and it doesn't last very long. Like you can only have the tube for about 3 or 4 months before it like wears out. So to me, it's too wet for too long as well. Like I feel like when I apply it, it's like if you need to sneeze, you can't sneeze for at least a minimum of 5 minutes, because if you sneeze, it's done. Like it doesn't dry fast enough. And I also found, because it's such a big wand and because it's so wet, it almost looks like, so when I was reviewing the footage, I was like, did I have eyeliner on my eyes? Like that I forgot to wash off, and I kind of backtracked the video and I was like, oh no, that's the mascara. The mascara, like the wand being so big and the mascara being so wet, like it's like it did liner as well, which not really what I was looking for. My second to bottom favorite is the Get Big Lashes. This is the 333 Black Lash Essence Mascara. It's in the purple tube. So this one also, like they're both Get Big, so these are like the same line. So they both seem to have a very large wand. I think this one is just as big, if not bigger. Yeah, it actually is slightly bigger. So there's the two Get Big Lashes wands, and you can see the purple one is slightly bigger. That was the thing that when I pulled this out, I was like, oh my god, this wand is way too big. And it's, at least the Get Big Lashes in the black tube is a bit pointed, so it helps to apply a bit better. But with the purple one, it's just like, it's the same all the way around, and it's just way too big. Like it's so hard to maneuver. I also feel like this one, when I put the primer on, the primer, at least with one coat, did not really like help it, like did not really do anything. So it did feel like, though, with the wand, I like the fact that it is a brush wand because it does feel like it really combs through the lashes. So this one would be good if you want a very subtle mascara look. Like if you're going for like a natural no makeup, you can use this. It definitely, you'll be able to get that with one coat. I think this is the one in the video where it seemed like the primer didn't really do anything for it. I feel like, so this one I said, it feels like it needs 2 coats. One coat is just not enough as well. And yeah, this was like a meh one. Like this one was just, it just didn't do anything for me. I feel like there's mascaras that are better. Even though it's close to the bottom, there is a reason why I put the other 2 higher up. So when I was first doing this, I thought this was going to be my number 1, but it's my number 2, and this is the Essence Volume Stylist Curl and Hold Mascara. So if you're looking for one that's similar to the Lash Paradise, this one is similar to the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. So it definitely feels drier than all of the other ones that I tried. I felt like it gave good length, and it definitely gave more volume. With one coat, you can get sort of a fluffier lash look, I feel like. But as it dries out, that goes away and it gets a little more clumpy. I really wanted to keep this footage in here. So when I did this filming, it went from okay to really bad really quickly. So I feel like this one, the primer, while it does like add volume, I feel like the primer is almost too much for this. Like using this with the primer is a dangerous situation. You're playing with fire. It's may get out of control very quickly. One coat of this seems to work well. Soon as you go in with a second coat, it can get out of control really quick. This is the type of mascara, kind of like the L'Oreal Lash Paradise, where you almost need to really like wipe off the wand and go in very carefully. And I even used, not in this in actual footage, but after I filmed this, I wanted to like wear this mascara for the rest of that day, so I kind of like used a tissue to wipe some of it off, and then I used like a little mascara comb thing that I have, like not a spoolie, but like an actual like you know how it's got a comb on one side and usually like a brush on the other side, and I use that to like comb through and separate my lashes, and it worked out pretty good. This one also does take a little while to dry down, so like, I mean, I was able to wipe some of it off, but because of that, again, you kind of need to be careful with this. It can get all over the place very quickly. So I just wanted to mention that today in this video, I am wearing this. So even though it's not my number one, I am wearing this one because I do really like this one. The reason why it's number two is it's because it's so finicky. And like I said, it can get out of control really, really quickly. I'm just wearing one coat of this. Like, this is a one and done. I feel like if you try and go in with two coats with this, again, you're playing with fire. It can get way too clumpy way too quickly. I am one of those people who, like, I do like a clumpier lash. I do, because I want volume more than like, so the one thing I do have is I do have long eyelashes, and with my eyebrows being kind of low, I feel like it makes my eyelashes look even longer. So length is never really a huge issue. Curl is never really a huge issue. Like I said, I do curl my lashes, and I feel like that holds pretty well for most of the day. Like, I put this mascara on this morning and I feel like it looks fine still. And yeah, so for me it's more volume, and that's why I like this type of mascara over, at least over the other two that I already talked about. And I didn't really talk about the wand. The wand on this one is okay. It's smaller and it's got a bit of a curved shape to it. So hopefully you can see that. It's got a, oh, where am I going? It's got a bit of a curve to it. You can see how gloppy, I think that was what it was in my notes. It's gloppy. It gets super gloppy super quickly. So that's the only reason why that's not number one. And again, I can't say it's a favorite because it isn't quite as good as the L'Oreal Lash Paradise, but I would say it is in the similar ballpark of a style. And then the number one out of these four is the False Lashes Mascara. This is the Dramatic Volume Unlimited. I question their Dramatic Volume Unlimited on this one. The reason why this is number one is for a few reasons. I like the wand on this. I actually really like the wand on this. It's a straight wand that tapers near the top, which I just feel like is really easy to maneuver and really get into your lashes and create a nice look. So I feel like this mascara with one coat can look really natural and really nice, and it does give a bit of volume. So compared to the other two, which ironically said volume in these ones, like this one says get big lashes. I don't think they're really big at all. And then this one was a volume boost one. I mean, this one says clump free, and I will give it that because it's so wet that you don't get clumps really as easily as you do in, for example, the volume Stylist one. My notes on this one. So first impression, the brush was a little long. That was the only thing I would said. It'd be nicer if the brush was like a little bit shorter. One coat was okay, and then my first impressions two coat was wow, really love it. Did feel a bit wet for a few minutes. I said with the lash primer, looks okay, but you probably don't need two coats. So I felt like that with a lot of them. Like when you put the lash primer on it, it sort of means that you don't need two coats. I think it's this one though, that with the lash primer, this one didn't really cover the lash primer in one coat. So you could really see the lash primer through the mascara. I did find that it gave it more lengthening than volume, and again, one coat was kind of meh. So the reason why this is number one is this is sort of an all-around okay one with two coats. So I'm kind of like a two-coat person, so I feel like this one's a little bit foolproof compared to the other ones. This one's easier to work with. It's not too wet, not too dry. One coat is okay. Two coats look good. Kind of works with the primer, but I think I've already said this, I'm not really a primer person, so yeah, so that was why this one ended up being number one, because it was like the safe one. And like, I was trying to like order these earlier, and it's like, okay, if I was stuck on an island with any of these mascaras, which one would I want to be stuck with? And it was this one. I was like, okay, this one was the safe option, so I would put this at number one. And then just, I guess, quickly to talk about the primer. I can see why people like a primer. I feel like I don't necessarily need it. Once I get 2 coats of a mascara on, I feel like my lashes are the way I want them to look. So I feel like the primer is just an unnecessary step. I also feel like with the primer, because sometimes it transfers on the bottom lashes, and I don't usually put mascara on the bottom lashes, so I end up with like white stuff on my bottom lashes. And like I said, I think it was the Dramatic Volume Unlimited, the false lashes one, that didn't actually cover the white. And that's always my like paranoia with sort of lash primers, that when you put a coat on, it doesn't cover, and then you need to put another coat on, but then things get out of control too quickly and you have too many layers on your lashes and they start getting like clumpy and droopy. So I just feel like primers are for me an unnecessary scary step. And like it can throw the game off. And maybe it's because I just don't use primers. I also felt like with this primer, it worked a little bit better if I like sort of wipe the brush off. I guess I should show the brush on this one as well. The brush is fine on this. I wish it was maybe a little smaller, a little more tapered. I think I would like it a little bit better. But it is pretty small. Like it's smaller than some of the other ones. So that's the brush right there. And the formula of this, I would say it's kind of very similar to like this actually, in terms of like it's not super thick, it's not super thin, it's not super wet, it's not super dry. It's sort of like in the middle of everything in terms of like consistency and texture. If you're curious, this is made in Italy. This one is made in Italy, so that kind of actually maybe slightly confirms my theory. This is made in Luxembourg. That's interesting. So is this one. And this one's made in Italy. So we have 3, that's weird, because these are the same line. 2 of them in the same line are made in 2 different places, so very interesting. But yeah, these 3 are made in Italy, and then these 2 are made in Luxembourg. Is Luxembourg known for their makeup? Very interesting. I don't know if I have anything else made in Luxembourg. Now I'm super curious to find that out. Anyway, I hope you found this video informational. I feel like Essence has so many mascaras and it's so overwhelming, and I think mascara in Essence, like no pun intended, it feels like there's not a whole lot of difference sometimes when you're using them, but other times it's like, whoa, like there's something that's like extra clumpy, or like something that's like extra like wet, or there's ones that just like don't really do anything for it all, and other ones you're like, wow, my lashes look so nice today. And I feel like even within a mascara you can get like all that range at times as it dries out or as you use it. So mascaras can be a bit tricky to test, and it makes a difference on your lashes. So my lashes are naturally fairly straight. I do need to curl them, but they are pretty long, and I'd say like they're like a light brown, so they're not very dramatic in and of themselves, but I do feel like when I add mascara, like I have a lot of length, just maybe not a lot of volume. And that's usually like, again, my personal preference for what I'm looking for. I generally do wear like a full face of makeup as well. So that's why I do like a little bit more of a dramatic mascara. I feel like if you wear a dramatic mascara and you don't have a full face of makeup, it can look a little out there. It can look a little too much. So some of these, again, like this one might be better if you don't wear a lot of makeup at all and you just want to have a bit of a light mascara. This would be better for you. So I can see how these would all work for pretty much everybody, except for this one. I don't like this one. I don't know. There's probably some people that like this, but I wouldn't, if there was something that I wouldn't recommend, I wouldn't recommend this one. I feel like the others are better for various reasons. So anyway, I hope you liked this little video. If you did, feel free to give it a little thumbs up down below. And I would love it if you did subscribe to my tiny little channel here in Toronto, Canada. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye.